Hello, everybody. It's Sean. We only have 10 minutes because I've really restricted myself to 10 minutes per show, unless we have one of our special guests coming up, of which I hope are like really kind of gearing up because last night's show was, I think, pretty awesome. I give myself 10 minutes. Now, here's the deal. Here's the nature of my show, unfortunately, or fortunately. I can be at the sink doing dishes, as I've mentioned before, and think of some idea because I do not plan this show. It is completely unscripted, unless I have like grabbed something, you know. And so here, to cut to the chase, here's how I promoted the Tonight Show. Either working with Whitney Houston for 16 hours on a Diet Coke commercial within like 6 feet of each other for 16 hours straight. Or night clubbing with Grace Jones when I went to a club called Does Your Mama Know on Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood, and she was there. I was the only one in drag because that was kind of my gig when I wasn't doing drag, was to go to primarily straight nightclubs, after hours nightclubs, because it was just a lot more interesting to be a drag queen there. And so happenstance, there's Grace Jones. She walks by and says, "Aren't you lovely?" I was not looking that lovely that night, but oh, well, I'll take your word for it. Speaking of words, I had no idea what to say. She's everyone's idol. And what does Sean do? Sean says, "Can I have a cigarette?" She happened to be holding a pack of Marlboro Lights. She smokes, I guess. I didn't know what else to say. I mean, I was like agog. And guess what? She gave me a cigarette, and I saved that cigarette for quite some time. And I lost it. Well, we lost it. Whatever happened to it, I don't know. But I had it. It was Grace Jones' cigarette. It was cool. I was making a list earlier today, pursuant to my next book, believe it or not. Oh my God, I can't wait till the 20th. I'm like final touches, like at this very minute, I'm like waiting on final touches. So I made this list, you know, it was related to book after book after book that's in my head, believe it or not. I got like a jillion more, like this is page 3 of like 300 or infinite. So I'm looking at the list, and again, I promoted the show as this nightclubbing and working close to Whitney Houston for 16 hours straight. And that is what angels look like, and that is what they sing like, because she used to wink at me. Anyway, so I'm making this list, and I put little yellow circles around sort of the key, more famous people. That this is not any kind of list like if you may be thinking. This is just Sean, like, I literally, before I turned this on, I thought of other names. So this is, give you an idea, these are all separate incidents. Well, actually, they're all names. And I hope you didn't see many of them, but anyway, I will give you an example. Then we will get to the shocker, which occurred to me. And I can't believe that I've never really discussed this essentially with anyone, and it is quite a shocker. So I work with Paul Newman. I had like a second callback on a movie called The Shadow Box. He needed me to sing. I didn't know what else to sing but Happy Birthday, so I sang Happy Birthday to Paul Newman. Whitney Houston, as I said, Tom Hanks, as I've discussed before, Nick Cage, of course, we go way back, Olivia Newton-John, Linda Carter, I did a variety show with, plus had a personal relationship with through my father, Molly Ringwald, of course, from For Keeps, Jane Fonda, long-term relationship, Linda Lavin, for those in the know, Terry Garr, who I've discussed extensively, and Marlon Brando, who I was on location with on one film, close relatively, and then worked on One from the Heart, which was another film that he did, and he recognized me from the first film when I was a child. Then I came to one name that just floated through my head as a potential topic, or just at least part of this list, and you'll never guess what that name was, and it was O.J. Simpson. Sorry, not an extremely sensitive subject, so if this may trigger you, considering the circumstances surrounding Mr. Simpson, as I loosely refer to him as a Mr. Anyway, here's the deep dish on O.J. Simpson, and that's all we have time for. I'm gonna have to push Grace Jones, much more extensive than I mentioned. Of course, Whitney Houston stretches 16 hours, so that's much more. And let's say we'll do some of this, because there's a lot more for any book, so this is kind of just actually scratches the surface, because the ones I'm more interested in are on another list. So I think we're about 5 minutes in. Let's start. My father did a film with OJ. And this was a film called, I can't name the film because it will be bleeped out. Believe it or not, Liz Taylor was in it, Richard Burton was in it, Lola Falana was in it, and yes, folks, O.J. Simpson was in it. This was shot in Oroville, California, which is Northern California. Highly, oh my God, oh my God, you have no idea how controversial this film was, considering the subject matter and the title. I can't say it. I don't know if they'll accept it, and I don't like saying the word ish. But anyway, Google it. Put those celebrity names together in a movie. Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor, Lola Falana, and O.J. Simpson, and there you go. So my dad and O.J. go way back. Okay, they worked on this film. This was maybe the mid '70s. They were close. My dad has a picture of them like embracing when he had his son, or I think it was, when his, let's say, baby, was a toddler. The child unfortunately fell into a jacuzzi on OJ's property. OJ was so devastated, he was speaking to my father at the time and decided to bulldoze the hot tub where the incident had occurred with his now deceased son, I want to say. I don't know. Anyway, so OJ went on to have, of course, 2 more children that we, of course, know of from all of the oh my God, whatever you call it. There's no word for what happened around that man. So they did this film. They were tight. I actually knew his children. His daughter. His daughter and I went to the same prestigious high school on the west side of Los Angeles called Crossroads in Santa Monica. I happened to see OJ there one day, picking her up, and I actually engaged him for several minutes about, hey, I had, my dad's Virgil Fry. Oh my God, I haven't seen him in years. Okay. Coincidence beyond belief. My mother, after running Saks as the fashion coordinator throughout the 60s, Saks Beverly Hills and Bullock's Wilshire at the end and beginning of the 70s. Oh yeah. So she was a very in-demand a stylist in commercial television. She did campaigns like Where's the Beef and all these things that you may remember. Those were all her commercials. So there was, if you go deeper into the 70s, earlier folks, if you're my generation, and even then we were children-ish, OJ was the campaign sales sponsor, whatever the hell, and that's exactly where he belongs, for Hertz Rent-A-Car. If you remember or YouTube it, O.J. Simpson, Hertz Rent-A-Car, he was the man. Oh my God, these commercials like went on forever. I mean, it seems like it was 10 years of him running through airports. You get your rental car at an airport. He was, of course, rushing somewhere, nowhere, worthwhile. And he was always jumping over suitcases and things to get to the Hertz rental counter, to get his Hertz rental car. But he was OJ, so he was running, of course, to get to Hertz because he's the football player. Turned whatever, and then whatever, grotesquely. And so my mother did all the wardrobe for all of those Hertz commercials. So then there's that like colossally weird coincidence that much earlier my father did a film, co-starred in a film as the bad guy. And if you look at the subject matter, if you Google it, imagine the bad guy from that, and then you throw up. Long-standing relationship with OJ in the ways that I have just described, such as they are. My mother actually did have, these are not close, well, my father, but only for a period of time, because my dad knew a jillion people that wanted it in his life. But my mother was very much shall we say, oh goodness gracious, I don't know, the whatever, there's no word for my mother, so let's just skip it. Anyway, a very charismatic woman, and like when Apple started, she did the commercials for what's his name, not IBM, some IBM mogul or whatever. On anyway, so she was very in demand, and so there was that connection. My mother has photographs of her and OJ on the set, and it was all looking very normal as he did in his suits running through airports. He looked like whatever he looked from all the pictures I've seen of my father and he, and of the film, which shall remain unnamed. So, like I said, there's pictures. To sort of put a finer tip on this, one of my takeaways from that film, considering the cast, was a sweater that would have fit, I don't know, 7-year-old, eight, whatever, anyway, that had Liz Taylor's signature, Richard Burton's signature, Lola Falana, James Colburn, I think, was in it. And of course, it had since been washed 100 times and lost a million years ago. But one of the takeaways from that movie that he did that shall remain unnamed was that he gave my father a personally autographed football to me with his signature. That football has since been, over the years, worn down. Then you couldn't see who it was autographed to. And then over the years, you couldn't see who signed it. And then it was gone, off the ball. And guess what? That is exactly what I hoped would happen to him in a parallel universe, that he would be whatever that football represented to him and be washed away like the ink. Dudes, I have so much more to unpack, maybe tomorrow night. We'll get to Whitney, we'll get to Grace Jones, we'll get to some of this that is like incidental to the things that I'm preparing. The book is like, I can smell the paper right now. It's gonna drop on the 20th, come hell or high water. Stick with me, guys. I love you. Whatever. I mean, my, kind of like my line now is that you're a jillion people. I get it, but you're like one of, like, let's say you have 2.5 friends that live in the neighborhood that moved with you from your hometown. Well, that's what it's like talking to you. I'm sorry. We're at 12 minutes. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay? Bye.